And here we are again. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm painting this upper, the intake plenum. I'm going to paint it black. I've spent about the last 24 hours soaking it in. I started off with Dawn dish soap, and then I used whatever it's called, Purple Power or something like that. I used that, and then I used pressure washer. Got the inside all cleaned out as good as I can get it anyway. There's very little left inside of it. Just staining if anything, but it's pretty damn clean. Need to, I'm gonna sand it a little bit on these raised letters, and I'm thinking of also maybe leaving. I think I'll just paint that black. Anyway. I was thinking of leaving this silver too, but kind of undecided right at the moment. Probably just going to paint it black. I'm going to polish these up, and after I get done painting it, I'm going to come back and then I'm going to remove the paint on top of those, and then I'm going to clear coat the whole thing. So I need to scuff this up a little bit, get any of this loose, the coating that's on it. Some of it was peeling off anyway. I think I've got it all pretty well taken care of, but I need to give it another close inspection and then tape some things off, and I'm going to primer it, let that sit, paint it black, and then do what I just said with the letters, and never fails, that heater comes on. Anyway, that's what I'm up to now, so I'll show you my progress here after a while. I got it all cleaned up, got it sanded down, primered. Not exactly sure if this is going to turn out as pretty as I thought. It's got some marks in it. I don't know if you can see them or not from where I sanded and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, it is a casting. They have little marks in them anyway, in places, but I kind of gouged it just a little bit when I used a sanding disc on parts of it, and not real worried about it. Not gonna hurt it any. It just yeah, it'll show when it's painted, but oh well, that's the way it goes. It'll look better than it did anyway, and that's the way it is. But anyway, that's the second coat of primer on there. I'm gonna do one more coat of primer, and then I'm gonna top coat it. I don't know how many coats of top coat I want to put on. Probably 4, 5, 6. And then probably let it sit overnight, come out in the morning, sand down those letters, and clear it. Actually, I probably need to clear it tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get it cleared tonight because I want to get this back on the truck and get moving on to bigger and better things. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Well, we're making progress. Got 2 coats of black on it now, and not looking too bad. And put one more coat on. That's about all the paint I have left anyway. So that's going to be a total of 3 coats. And then I'm going to remove the paint off of the lettering and then clear coat it. And I'm doing all this with just rattle can paint. It's high temp paint, engine paint. So I don't know. Might last a little while. I don't know. We'll find out. But looks a lot better than it did before, so I guess that's all that really matters. So anyway, we're getting there. Just takes a little bit of time. Gotta wait for everything to dry, and then paint it again. Dry, paint, dry, paint, dry, paint. Hey, that's how painting goes. So anyway, only other thing is my throttle body over there, right there, which I think I'll take it up to the house tonight and probably clean it up. Didn't really even think about painting it, so I don't know. I'll decide what I want to do about that tonight, I guess. If I'm going to paint it, I'm going to have to go get more paint, but it's not real pretty. I don't know. We'll see. I could always do that some other time too, but I'm doing stuff painting now, so now would be the time to do it. But think I'll take it up and degrease it and everything tonight and get all the, there's a little bit of carbon in it, and get that out of there, and get it ready to go back on here. The throttle positioning sensor on that is fairly new. Otherwise I'd probably put a new one on there, but I know I just replaced that not too terribly long ago. So anyway, that's what's going on there. So I'll probably show you the next thing when I get the letters cleaned off and clear coat on this. So be back in just a minute. And there you have it. I got to put one more coat of clear on yet, but other than that, she's done. Didn't turn out too bad. For the letters, I started trying to sand it off with, well, first I started with some 500. That wasn't going to work. Probably would have eventually, but and then I tried some, I don't know if it was 320 or 220, kind of the same thing. So then I broke down and got my, I used a, that's what I use to knock my welds down when I do body work. This, it's got 320 on it, and I tell you what, that it took about 2 minutes using that to knock that, to get the paint off of the letters. Turned out really good. And then I put 2 coats of clear on. I got to do one more coat of clear, which is going to use up all the paint I got. So yeah, turned out pretty decent. Not too shabby. So a little time consuming. Painting is always time consuming, more than you think. When I first started with those letters, I used a razor blade. And so if you don't have like a sanding disc like that, a razor blade, just be careful and take your time, and it lifts the paint off pretty darn good off of those letters. Then you could probably take some sandpaper and do it by hand and get them cleaned off, but that sanding disc really took it to it in no time. So that turned out pretty good. I took the throttle body up to the house and I got it apart, and it's I got some stuff on it. It's soaking and getting cleaned up right now. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with that, whether I'm going to paint it or just put it back on. It probably depends on how it looks after it gets cleaned up. Like this looked kind of oxidized after I cleaned it up, because some of the coating was coming off of it, so it needed to be painted or something, or it was probably just going to keep going downhill, although it would probably last for quite a while. But anyway, so I'm going to go up to the house and work on that a little bit tonight, and then tomorrow I should get this back on the truck. So I think I'm going to throw this one up on YouTube tonight and go from there. So the next thing I'm going to be doing after all this is, and I'm not 100% sure, well, I need to clean my shop. That's one thing I need to do, but the next thing I want to do is get the lift going, get this front end lifted up. I don't know if you can tell, but I got plastic on the back. I couldn't find plastic where the front, didn't need it anyway, but I don't know if you can tell, but after I did one of my very first videos was I replaced all the suspension, everything, all the hangers, shackles, leaf springs, coils, buckets, everything. And God, I wish this camera would zoom out. Anyway, I don't know if you can tell, but the back end sits, I can't remember how many inches it is. I think it's about, I can't remember, but it's quite a bit higher than the front, and it kind of makes it look like a two-wheel drive. If I can back up enough, this darn camera wants to zoom in so close. But I put 2-inch leveling coils on this truck, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. About 2.5 years ago, because I haven't hardly driven it since I did that. And so the front end's actually 2 inches higher than it was stock. And it's got 31-inch tires on it. And so I'm going to lift the front end. I'm going to lift it 4 inches. And I think I remember I measured it out, and that's going to come out exactly level, I believe. If it does come out where the front end's sitting up, I'm not doing that. So if that happens, I can either drop it down 2 inches in the front after I get done with it, or I could get different blocks in the back and lift it up just a smidge. And that's probably what I would end up doing, because I want to put 35-inch tires on this and get the proper stance to it. I don't want it too low and I don't want it too high. So anyway, that's the next thing. I found another fan shroud too. I found one, I don't know if it was last week, but the sucker was cracked, and I was going to try to fix it, but it's the only one they had at the time down there at Wrench and Go, the place where I go to get my stuff. Sometimes they have trucks down there, sometimes they don't. So I went back here last week and ta-da! Got one that isn't broke. So it does have just a minor thing right there, and I'm not even sure it goes all the way through. I can't. Anyway, it's really solid right there. And I got some stuff called plastic weld. I'll stick some of that in there. But hell, the way it is right there, you put a bolt and washer on that and it's not going to go anywhere anyway. So, but I'll probably glue it up with that stuff that I have just to be sure. But it'll fit this, it'll fit the 2-inch, it'll fit the 2-inch radiator, or the 2-core radiator that I put in a couple weeks ago. Because that shroud right there, just, it doesn't fit. Number one, it's sitting awful close to everything, and number two, the clips at the bottom don't work right. They're just barely grabbing onto anything, and so you have to get the right shroud. Why they make them different, I don't know. But where these are, there and there, I think they're narrower on this one than on a single core radiator. So anyway, well, there you have it. I think that looks pretty sharp. I think that's going to look pretty good with those valve covers I put on. So I am going to upload this sucker, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be making a video or not tomorrow. I probably will. Might be a short one. I'm going to get this back on the truck, and then hopefully, like I said, next weekend I plan on start doing the lift. My daughter is getting her tonsils out next Friday, and just depending on how all that goes, I'm taking Friday off from work, so have about a 2.5 day weekend maybe, and maybe I can get started on this. So anyway, that's the painted Plenum, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, give it a thumbs up, and if you go to my main page, like if you have money just coming out of your pockets and you want to give it to somebody, there is a support button on there, and you can help donate to a good cause, which is getting my truck rebuilt. Anyway, thanks for watching. Well, getting things buttoned back up together. I didn't go ahead and upload this like I was saying last night. I got the intake back on, or the plenum back on. Really all that's left to do now, it's torqued down. 25 foot-pounds are with the 6 bolts that hold it down, torque to. Actually, it's like 20 to 23, I think. I don't know, I put them at 25. And I've got the God, I need to clean down here. I've got the throttle body over here. I decided to go ahead and paint it, so I got it Painted it up with some clear coat. That's my old vacuum tree. Because the new one that I got sitting over here, I couldn't screw into the plenum. It was too short, and then all these little tubes were trying to hit the plenum, so I couldn't screw it in there. I don't know how it came out of a different truck, but whatever. Anyway, so I'm just going to reuse my old one. I cleaned it up, got all the rust off of it. I shot it with some Ospo, and then I also took sandpaper to it and primed it, painted it, and clear coat. So should be good for a while anyway. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at this. It's not going to take a whole lot more to button this up, and not a lot to show as far as, you know, I'm not going to show putting the throttle body and all that. I mean, it's just lining bolts up and vacuum hoses and shit like that. So I'm going to call it good on this one, and hopefully next weekend I will get going on the lift. So thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't. See you next week.